The biggest stadium at the 2026 World Cup holds 94,000 people. It's in Dallas. It normally hosts NFL games. The final will be played at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, home of the New York Giants and the New York Jets. A stadium that has never hosted a major soccer match in its life is about to host the most-watched sporting event on Earth. And in Mexico City, a stadium built in 1966, one that has already hosted 2 World Cup finals, witnessed Pele's last World Cup, and saw Maradona score the greatest goal in football history, is about to become the first venue ever to host 3 different World Cups. 16 stadiums, 3 countries, stories that span 60 years of football history, and one rule from FIFA that forces every single one of them to change their name before a match is played. Start with the numbers. The 16 venues range from 45,000-seat grounds to giant NFL stadiums north of 90,000. AT&T Stadium in Dallas is the biggest at around 94,000 capacity. It's a retractable roof NFL arena that opened in 2009 and cost $1.2 billion to build. It will host one of the 2 semifinals, meaning a World Cup semifinal will be played in a stadium that most of the world associates with American football. MetLife Stadium near New York hosts the final on July 19, 2026. It seats over 82,000. It's an outdoor stadium in New Jersey, which means that if the weather turns on final day, 82,000 fans and 2 of the best national teams in the world play in it anyway. There's no roof, no backup plan, just football, weather, and 82,000 people who paid a significant amount of money to be there. SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles is at the other end of the spectrum, widely considered the most technologically advanced stadium in the world, opened in 2020 at a cost of $5.5 billion, making it the most expensive stadium ever built. It seats around 70,000 for the World Cup and will host a quarterfinal. The United States played both their opening group games there. Kansas City Stadium is certified by Guinness World Records as the loudest outdoor sports venue in the world, a claim that will be tested when 80,000 football fans fill it for a knockout match. Now, the naming rule. FIFA requires that during the World Cup, all commercial stadium names are replaced with neutral geographic ones. So AT&T Stadium becomes Dallas Stadium. SoFi becomes Los Angeles Stadium. Gillette Stadium in Boston becomes Boston Stadium. Every sponsor name disappears because FIFA controls all advertising rights during the tournament, and no stadium's naming rights deal overrides that. It's a condition of hosting. Every city agreed to it. The most important stadium at this tournament isn't in the United States. It's in Mexico City. Estadio Azteca has now hosted the most matches of any stadium in World Cup history, 24 total across 1970, 1986, and 2026. No other venue is close. In 1970, it hosted the final between Brazil and Italy, the match that produced the Carlos Alberto goal many historians still consider the most beautiful in World Cup history. Brazil won 4-1 in what is widely regarded as the greatest World Cup final ever played. In 1986, it hosted 2 of the most famous moments in football history within the same tournament. Diego Maradona scored the Hand of God goal against England, punching the ball into the net with his fist and claiming afterward that it was a little with the head of Maradona and a little with the hand of God. Then, 4 minutes later in the same match, he scored the goal of the century, dribbling from his own half past 5 English players and the goalkeeper before finishing. Both goals, same match, same stadium. In 2026, the Azteca opened the tournament, becoming the first stadium in history to host the opening match at 3 different World Cups. The opening match, on June 11th, was Mexico versus South Africa. The Azteca was built in 1966 and seats close to 87,000 people. It sits at an altitude of 2,240 meters above sea level, more than 7,000 feet. At that altitude, the air is thinner, players tire faster, and the ball moves differently. Teams that aren't acclimatized to altitude are at a measurable physical disadvantage. This is not a small factor. Brazil's 1970 squad trained at altitude for weeks before the tournament, specifically to prepare for it. Outside the United States and Mexico, 2 Canadian cities are hosting for the first time in history. Toronto and Vancouver are hosting World Cup football for the very first time. Toronto Stadium sits by the shore of Lake Ontario and underwent a major renovation ahead of the tournament. Vancouver's BC Place is a dome stadium squeezed between the skyscrapers of the city, with the Pacific Mountains visible from the stands on clear days. For Canada, hosting matches at a World Cup they qualified for as a playing nation, not just a venue, is a milestone without precedent. Canada's national team had never qualified for a World Cup between 1986 and 2022. Now they are both playing and hosting simultaneously. Miami's Hard Rock Stadium hosts the third-place playoff and several group stage matches. It has a retractable roof, which matters in Florida's summer heat, and hosted Copa America matches in 2016. Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz Stadium, renamed Atlanta Stadium for the tournament, hosted 5 matches at the FIFA Club World Cup in early 2025, making it one of the more battle-tested venues going into the summer. Levi Stadium in Santa Clara hosted the 2026 Super Bowl in February, meaning the same venue hosted both the NFL's championship game and multiple World Cup matches within the same calendar year. That had never happened before. 16 stadiums. From a 1966 Mexican icon that has hosted more World Cup matches than any other building on Earth, to a $5.5 billion Los Angeles arena that opened 6 years ago and already ranks among the most advanced sports venues ever constructed. The range, historical weight on one end, technological spectacle on the other, is exactly what a tournament this size requires. Not every match needs history, not every match needs a retractable roof, but somewhere across 16 cities and 104 games, every kind of football fan finds what they came for. The final is in New Jersey on July 19th. The venue has no particular football history, but by the time the last match is played, it will.